Welcome to Shutter and Flow. Today, we're going to pick back up a little bit where we left off last week, and we are going to talk about some of our favorite photographers right now, or people that we think are doing interesting things. They're not always our favorites, and people maybe who are a little bit newer or doing things that are kind of interesting.
Mine are not newer, but they are at least a good inspiration to go for, is how I'm looking at it.
Yeah, and we talked about that whether you're shooting architecture or food or portraits or entertainment, that it's always good to look at photographers who are doing different things. Sometimes it's hard to look at everyone that is your competition, but I feel like it's always a good idea to look at people who are doing something else that you're not doing. Maybe their lighting is interesting, or maybe something else that they're doing, the way that they're presenting their work, you might actually find something useful out of it. So we each picked two people. Jeremy, do you want to kick it off and share your screen, and we can just look at some work?
Let's do it. I am going to start with Art Streiber. Now, if you don't know Art Streiber, let me get the screen share going. All right. Art Streiber is one of the, if not the top entertainment photographer right now. You go on his site, he is loaded with all sorts of stuff. And what I appreciate about it is when you go on his site, he's not right away giving you the advertising for the movie posters or the TV shows. He's putting the stuff that he likes.
Yeah.
When you open it up. Different celebrities, the more interesting shots. It's not necessarily the ones that are getting used in the key art, in the whatever. It's the stuff that he finds cool. And then once you dig into it and go into commissions, and I like how he has his website set up. You see his work. It's interesting. Then projects are more stuff that his personal stuff. Commission is his entertainment and commercial things. So you click on there and you see right away some new one for Peacock, a show that he did, or this beautiful portraits, or this one, which is for Paramount Plus, Sylvester Stallone, Tulsa King. And in fact, I know that this one was shot here in Atlanta just recently, because one of my good friends, Amanda Green, photographer assistant, worked on this shoot. I had multiple friends that worked on it. And what he does really well, if you follow his Instagram, is he always does a behind the scenes photo and a series of them on a post and talks about his crew, his lighting. He's not trying to gatekeep. He shows basically how he lit this, if you really pay attention to it, and then post the final results. So it's a great, like, really professional to see how it's done. And you can go down through here and it's like all these TV shows he's worked on that are big composites, that are studio stuff, simple portraits that are seem simple, but I know how he lights to some extent. Everything is very precise and intricate, and some of the most professional sets you've ever been on. He has a full crew, many people. They're pre-lighting for a full day before they go on and do their actual stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we've both known who Art Streiber is for a very long time. Michael's worked with him quite a bit. We had an interview with Michael a few episodes back, and he's one of the top people in shooting key art. I mean, the reason that they bring him in is if they want to make sure that they get what they need too, right? But also to get really well lit, beautiful things done on a great set. Like, it's just, he's top of the game when it comes to entertainment photography, hands down.
Yeah, and then commission or commercial work also sit in there. This is for Las Vegas. It's all this really in-depth group shot for Las Vegas. It's all the chefs of all the different places. I know how much work this is. You know how much work this is.
This is a ton of post work.
And there's a good chance none of these people were in this room together at the same time. This is a full day of shooting.
Yeah, sometimes you'll have a few
people
sitting together, but then you still might, use different images of those two people sitting together, or three people, whatever it is. And then you'll have individual people, the person with the champagne saber in the background of that shot, that's like it's multiple shots probably put together. If they got that in one shot, it would be probably a miracle.
Yeah.
But
And it's like similar things where it's like you have all these different shoots that are who knows how many different ones together and sets but I just appreciate his work. But then what I really love is, and this be the same with the next photographer I talk about, projects. And they have a section where this is a great one. It's museums. And it's just talking about on a recent trip to Amsterdam and Paris, they were going around museums and started doing these beautiful images in museums of, I mean, here's a Rothko, just all these different things to show what it's like being in the museum, not just the work of art. And it's like so simple, but so effective.
that's cool. I like this series.
Yeah. And I love he can do all this entertainment stuff. He does all the big things, but this is the play. And maybe this inspired something else for him to shoot, or a way to shoot something different because of it. It's just a great example, and it's definitely a worthwhile follow on Instagram to see the behind the scenes and how much he calls out all of his crew members, and he knows it's a full team to get this thing done, from assistants to wardrobe, all of it. And it's just a nice way to see it done.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's jump over to my first person, Ruben Wu. So anybody who's, I don't know, seen Archive or been on Instagram or anything in a while, you probably would have seen his work somewhere. He does these really interesting, amazing shots using drones to light the images and then shoots with cameras. It's really fascinating and just super creative. There are a lot of people who've stolen this style and replicated it, but honestly, it's amazing and it's super creative, right? It's very artistic, and I think his background is he was a musician, so he's multidisciplinary, very artistic in general. But there's some really cool stuff that he's doing. I mean, these that kind of look like these like curtains draped in light, amazing, absolutely beautiful. And the thing is, the reason I wanted to use his as an example is he actually is super creative, doing something that is pushing the boundaries of doing something that is creative, and then translating that and doing commissioned work. So he has commissioned work. He's shooting commercial work. There's a lot of car photography. There's stuff for Mercedes. There's some things for Fuji, Volkswagen. But as you can see, like he still brings in that element of what he was doing in his creative work to showcase something. I actually really love this Mount Blanc Skyway shot with the halo underneath the car. But I think it's great. I mean, somebody who's has their own style, visual style, and then can translate that into actually commercial work. But I have a pretty good feeling that even if he wasn't doing the commercial work, he would still be doing the art stuff, because it is really fantastic. And he does video as well. I mean, it's just visual storytelling is I mean, I see this, I immediately know whose work it is, and I immediately kind of put the concepts of the work that he's doing, like you just know who it is. So that's why I wanted to share this, because you look at a lot of people's websites, you look at a lot of their work in general, and you don't immediately know whose work it is. And so this is taking style to like the nth degree, right? Show a little bit of a video right now, which is kind of cool. It's somebody who has their own thing, and of course there's lots of other people that copy. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to copy this style, but at least for the time being, if there's somebody out there looking for somebody with a specific style, they're going to hire him to do it because he's the person who does this style. And it looks like he's still playing and still developing and doing new and interesting things. So that's, yeah, I thought I would definitely share his work.
Yeah. And from a technical standpoint, that is so difficult. Like I know there's going to be there's a lot of post involved to take out the drone at certain spots and the light, but like you have to have the right kind of light. You have to be able to fly the drone properly and get it at least close to get those like it'll do some of the things for you, but from a technical standpoint, it is very impressive because that is not easy to do.
Yeah, and
Like
it's a lot of, I'm sure, going out and doing tons and tons of trial and error and test shooting and then going, seeing what you got, going back, doing it again. And it's what a lot of people don't do. If you think of a studio photographer playing with lighting, this is the same thing. It's somebody going out and doing test shoots. It's the same thing as somebody going in a studio and saying, today I'm going to play with something new in lighting and trying to figure out something new. And when it works really well. And it could be your unique, individualistic thing, which I think is awesome.
yeah, I think it's a really cool way to do a landscape specifically different. And I love watching. There was the one time, like some of his early time lapse, you could see where he was learning it, and he was had a separate camera just
Mhm.
shooting the whole time. There was this one, it was like an island, and it was good. The drone was going all around it, lighting each section of it, and
But
it's
it's super creative. And so if you think about whatever, pick any other kind of photography you can think about. If you're an architecture photographer, you could do something creative with lighting a building, using a drone to light the building or something. Is it going to work? Maybe not. Are you going to get permission to do it? Maybe not. But it gives you some ideas and things to think about creatively, right? Don't steal things, but um, think of how to play around and create something that people haven't seen before.
yeah, or just how to use that in a different field, like a similar idea, but not exactly. And like, how does it work in a different world?
Yeah.
I actually saw you said architecture, and it was straight up just like a real estate house showing thing, but they were doing these like transitions from day to night really well that I hadn't seen before. And it
Mhm.
is something that's so basic in that world of doing like, oh, we got to sell this house. How do we show it? But they had taken it to the next level. Um, so that could separate some people in that world that get a little extra money because that typically doesn't pay very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to share the next person?
Yes. This is Joe Pug. He has a longer last name, but I don't do well with long
Don't want to
names.
butcher it.
But his joepug.com, another entertainment type person. Um, you have probably seen a million magazine covers of him, but what I love about it is his style is so unique. His lighting is like this balance of hard but beautiful at the same time. And then also does, Secession, the key art for it. And it varies all over the place where it's Esquire magazine or whatever type of magazine like that, but then entertainment stuff at the same time for the key art for the show. Rolling Stone covers. But I love his use of shadows with the lighting, that it's not always the blown out beautiful light. It is a perfect balance to get still looking beautiful, but not always lit 100% like some people do in the entertainment world. Um,
Yeah, it's not all overlit.
yeah, because a lot of times that is what happens in that world because everyone wants to look really beautiful. So it's like, great, we'll throw an octobank as close to them as we can and really light it up.
Yeah.
But similar, and look at this Jeff Goldblum with like some gels and adding some stuff because it makes sense for his music things. Um, similar to that, there is a personal section series, and like this one, personal work, flow state. It is. He obviously lives in the Venice area in LA. It's the skate park in LA, and it's like it's a great example of if you live somewhere that something happens, find something in your backyard to shoot that you and make it cool. It's so easy to like, if there's something nearby that you can do and just go take some cool pictures there and hang out there a lot, great, do that. And there was another one in this section, and it's like pushing you creatively. Like this, him and his son, copies of his son playing around in his house, um, are where's the one that I was looking for? I loved this one. This was for Los Angeles Magazine, but it was done so well. It was people that were on The Price is Right and just simple portraits, but you get all these characters and like the faces of everyone so unique. And I just think this is just like a fun thing that probably did not pay very well. Like, I know editorial type stuff for a magazine, they don't make a lot of money off of these,
Yeah.
but it's a cool series to do something different and just light these people before or after going on stage for The Price is Right. And I appreciate the play of these, as well as there was one, it was marathon finishers. And it's like, and I've had this idea before, and I'm like, oh, I'm glad someone did it right. And it's like people right after they finish the LA marathon, and just like the exhaustion and the joy and the crying, and like, it's such a great way to show raw human emotion in a simple way.
So I really like, so also, talking about style, I really like that in a lot of his work, most of it, if you see how he shoots on a seamless, the seamless is never paper white. It always has a tone. And then some of the more commercially portraits, entertainment portrait stuff, there's a lot of shadow that he plays with on the actual, the seamless itself. And I think that's interesting and it looks great. So very stylistic.
Yeah,
You can
lots
tell
of
whose work
light
it is.
flare use
Yeah.
and things like that that just make it unique, which I appreciate so much. So yeah, he's a great one to look at. Always inspirational to see just how different people. It's like, oh, you have. It's always something to think about when it's like, oh, we need this celebrity portrait for this magazine. What do you do with it to make it a little more interesting than just them standing there?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, that's a good one.
yeah,
So the next person that I want to share is
it's obviously me, right?
Sam Bernard. So Sam Bernard, pretty sure I'm saying his last name correctly. So the reason I picked him is I actually think more than a lot of people, he does a really good job of splicing in personal projects and personal work with commercial work. The reason I wanted to bring it up is because there are people who shoot commercial photography that aren't necessarily getting booked and paid for all these big, massive jobs. You don't have a portfolio of 30 clients that you can show work for. And he does have a lot of actual clients, but it is a great way to show your work. So if you look at his website, you'll see that he actually lists what's personal and what is for a client, but it's all mixed in. It's not necessarily like, here is my personal section. He also has a journal section, which I think is great, that has a lot of these smaller projects that are maybe ongoing, or I'm not really sure, but it's a great way to kind of just, if you don't have a million clients that you're shooting for, but you want to show really good work, this is a great way to do it. I thought it was really clever, and I absolutely love this personal series, the Beneath the Ice free diving. So it's people who free dive under the ice, and there are some beautiful images here and just really entertaining and shot super cool. Love this
that's
one with
beautiful.
the square underwater. And showing a personal project like this can win you work, right? I mean, there's no reason why, if he didn't send this to a bunch of companies that create this kind of clothing for free diving, or I don't know, places that do it, that they wouldn't hire him to do this work. But he does have a lot of really great sports photography in here, and just a bunch of other interesting things. And I think adding in these sort of personal projects really help. And he has a very editorial feel. Stylistically, like, I don't necessarily look at every single project and think, oh, that's his work. as much as somebody like we were some of the entertainment photographers we were talking about. But at the same time, like he definitely has his own style and it's definitely working. So I
Yeah,
want to show one more project really quick
it's
if
a
I can
great
find
lesson
it.
about showing stuff that's good and putting it out there and like continuing to show all your work that you enjoy, because you never know, it might not even be the company that does the free diving stuff, but there could be another company that's like, I like how this looks, a swimming company. Hey, can you do something like that but in a pool as opposed to in the ice? So there's a lot of potential there to what it could open up.
Yeah, but his work's really good, so I would check him out. And if you want a cool website to look at, I mean, his website's just super cool. I like the way that it navigates. It's different, right? You kind of it's memorable, and I feel like that's something that speaks a lot, right? Somebody goes to your website and they actually think it's really cool and fun to play around with and look at your work. It's more entertaining than just looking at a portfolio where you just scroll images and you're like, cool, I got it, you know?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It is, as and everyone knows, so difficult to get your website going, and do it right.
It's a constant process, right? Unless you're working with a rep or somebody who's going to take on a lot of those things for you and build something out, it is a constant process of culling images, editing images, uploading things, looking for the new work. When was the last time you updated it? Then on top of that, it's how does your actual website look, right? Obviously, if you need to update a portfolio, that takes priority. With what, just leave your website, whatever it is. Don't rebuild a whole new website if you don't think your portfolio is strong. Work on your portfolio first, but once it's there, then you can take some additional steps and actually go through, find maybe a better platform, find something that's maybe a little more unique, find something that fits your style. You know, think about your branding. What's your style? How do you hook people? What do you want people to know?
Yeah, it's a good rule, and like we talked about, having hidden galleries to share stuff. I have to go pull some stuff together right now. Like, you don't have to put everything out there, but if someone asks for it, you need to be able to show it if you can do it. I had someone ask me about some more lifestyle-y stuff that I got to pull together now. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, thanks everyone. Really appreciate everybody listening or watching. And, just go out, find cool people doing cool stuff. Doesn't even have to be photographers, but we might do some more of these at some point where we show maybe some other kinds of work in the future, other portfolios.
yeah, I think it'd be fun getting some video stuff or some. There's so many ways you could go with it to get inspired.
Cool. Thanks everyone.
All right, bye.
Bye.